Where's the thumping? Okay, to the north we have two more coming. We'll just stand here and wait, I guess, for them to break down the door. I don't see any reason to help them along because we really don't want to engage them in melee. I'm grabbed and surrounded, which is... I don't want to be... So that's one of the most dangerous positions you can be in. If you're going to be grabbed, you really want to be grabbed with only one enemy attacking you. Because basically, if one guy grabs you and you have three enemies around you attacking you, all three of those enemies get the opportunity to deliver a deep bite wound, which is obviously much more dangerous than having to worry about one guy possibly delivering a deep bite wound. So here's some glass shattering. Would love to get my stamina back before any more come. Okay. So it's pulp. Nothing else came out to fight us. Another MP3 player with the plutonium in it. Antibiotics. Some weed. None of that's super interesting to me. Pulp them. Lighter that's empty. Yeah, everything's still being generated as empty. Not great. Wear the sling. Okay. Well, it's not dark here, so I can't even get the visual representation. Just throw on the Great Helm. If it reduces our vision, I'm sure I'll probably notice. Some booze. Unfortunately, nothing to clean wounds with. Some magazines. Okay. So, we found some medieval stuff. Looks like the billiards table did not generate here. I don't have anything to talk about today, Internet. We talked about my car. We talked about my kitty cat. And, yeah, I live a pretty boring life. I don't have anything else on the roster to discuss. I was watching someone on Twitch recently who said she always makes a list before she goes live about things to talk about. I tried doing that previously, but it came out to be like two things, and it's like, why even make a list? Who would put an MP3 player with a radioactive battery in his pocket? I mean, they're not supposed to generate with those light plutonium batteries. That's just some bug that's causing everything to have plutonium in them. But yeah, I would not put plutonium in my pocket. Seems like a great way to get your ass irradiated. How is the... I assume you mean my wiener dog. My wiener dog is okay. We did move him downstairs, which was a big thing. And I do think that the big dog has been bullying him, because I will often go down, I'll hear him yip or something, and I'll go down to check on him. And he'll be in the hall laying on the floor, and the big dog will be sitting on his bed next to his food dish. So I think she's stealing his food, and he doesn't know what to do about it. Is he still scared? Well, the main issue was him trying to get up the stairs, and I think he's just a little fat. And with the wiener dog, they're kind of weirdly shaped, so, you know, like they have hip problems and stuff. So I think for him it was just getting up the stairs that was really the scary thing for him. So he seems to be doing a lot better. He looks miserable a lot. I think he's unhappy that he's downstairs, but I think ultimately it's better for him. And it's one of those things where it's like, do I want my dog to be happy, or do I want my dog to be better off? And I want him to be, you know, safe and healthy more than I want him to be happy all the time. So, but it definitely is less of a worry now than it was back then. So we found a full suit of armor. I hate the idea of wearing this. This is 20 encumbrance, which is pretty good considering how much protection it gives. But, man, am I going to put this thing on? It covers every body part, essentially. I guess we wear the plate armor. I mean, you have to wear the plate armor, right? Is it real, by the way? Suit of Gothic. Leather and steel, so it appears to be actual, real plate armor. Love that 9 by your name on viewers. I don't look at that. I actually can't see my viewership unless I, especially with Cataclysm, I have to bring up the overlay, pop over to OBS and pop back. So I generally don't look because the numbers have been very low, which is to be expected, but is also always a bummer, right? Like, So I think we want to look at these helms side by side. We have the Barbute helm, which is like a full, I think, medieval helmet that provides excellent protection for the head with a Y-shaped opening for the face. Okay, so it's not what I was thinking it was. But it's 16 and 16. It's made of leather and steel. What is this one? The Great Helm is 20 and 20 and 13 ballistic protection. Yeah, so the Great Helm is better. And because we don't care about encumbrance on our head, it doesn't actually matter. So we'll keep the Great Helm. But we are going to throw on this armor, I think. So let's lose... Oh, a bunch of these clothes. Let's lose the... We keep the boots. Lose the coat. Drop it on the... Why would it... It wielded... Taking it off wields it? That's interesting. I don't care. We'll go through the drop menu instead. Let's lose the arm guards and leg guards. I kind of would like to keep the leather pants, but I feel like you don't wear leather pants in plate armor. I hit my viewer count. It's scary. They've gotten better. About normal for most Cataclysm streams. Consistent streaming times seem to help. Yeah, that's been an issue for me pretty much from conception, is that I don't have a great schedule. I work 7 days a week, and I don't live alone, and I always noise in the neighborhood. Like Sunday, my neighbors were having a party, which led to my dog barking every 2 minutes. So it's like, it's always hard to find the time, and people expect reliability, which is something I struggle with. So we're going to throw on this... Oh, why can't I wear the plate armor? Oh, I am wearing the plate armor. So let's take a look at our encumbrance and weight, or our temperature and things. So our head is quite cold since we removed the fur hat. Surprisingly, a Great Helm is not warm. That's interesting. I mean, I guess it is metal on your head, but I assumed it had some kind of... It said leather, so I assumed it had like a padded lining that would be warm. Our feet are quite warm, but that's because of the winter boots. Everything else is a little bit chilly, to be honest. And our torso encumbrance is pretty manageable, although we're not wearing the sling. So... Oh, we are wearing the sling and we only have 25 encumbrance? Well, it's because the sling is empty. It gets worse as it goes. So let's wield the hatchet, because that's still our best weapon. Oh no, we found a mace. Yeah, if this is a real mace, we're going to swap to the mace. It is iron and wood. Medieval weapon consisting of a wood handle with a heavy iron end. It is heavy and slow, but its crushing damage is devastating. Yeah, if I had a choice, I would not choose the mace, but it's what we have available to us. I need to sleep, see murder. Goodbye, Jackaholic. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate the viewership. So if I were forging something myself, I would go for like the Warhammer, but we have the mace, so we're going to be wielding the mace because it's... What is that? We have an ammo called Scent, so apparently a cash card, probably. Yeah, it corresponds to our cash card value. That's interesting. Probably not intended. Let's wield the mace. It's a slow weapon. It's not amazing, but we're going to take it. And then we're going to grab the winter coat. You know what? I don't want the winter coat. Just give me the items from it. Unload the winter coat. Hopefully, yes, into my inventory. Yes, it did. Okay. So unfortunately, we can't wear anything else with our Great Helm, so that warmth is not going to be something we can address. Everything else should be okay. Should be okay, I think. Yeah, let's just move on. So try to remember to drop the sling when we get into combat. So we are much more protected than we were previously. We have a much better damage weapon than we did previously. I would still love to find a better weapon, but you really can't ask for anything more than this on day one. And we're pretty impervious at this point. Getting grabbed and stuff can still lead to bites, but I think a bite has to surpass your armor stuff. And since we have like 95% coverage in our big plate mail, I think we're going to be just fine. Nothing. Some more 9mm. That's our 100th round of 9mm. So if we could pick up a 9mm gun would be great. It has a UPS in it. We don't want that. Flashlight is pretty great. We'll take a flashlight with a big old plutonium battery in it. Yeah, consistency of streams has been an issue. That's why I just picked one day in the week and said, look, if you want to watch me stream Cataclysm, I guarantee on Thursdays, around 5 p.m. I'm gonna be live for a little while. So everything else is a crapshoot. I was under the impression that it's one of those things you should try to stream every single day. I actually don't think that's that important. I think that just having set days and then performing on those days is more beneficial. And since I want to be pivoting away from Let's Plays a little bit on YouTube, I think I'm going to do more informative content. I think that's like the ultimate really way of doing things, is to create content elsewhere and then bring those people with you to Twitch. So hopefully as things progress, more people will find out who I am, and hopefully introduce them, some people to Cataclysm that maybe haven't seen it before. I'm still surprised by how many people have never heard of it, especially because I know there have been articles written like was it Rock Paper Shotgun? There have been at least 2 articles written in the last like year or year and a half about Cataclysm, and Cataclysm was added to this. There was this book that was being written about like a big it was a compilation of all these different games, and Cataclysm was in that. So I mean, it gets out there, but I don't see a lot of buzz about it. I don't hear people who've heard about it, When I talk to people who game, they don't even know about it. And it's like, it's out there, and it's free. It's like open source is something. I mean, I put a lot of stock in open source. So for me, it being free and open source is like a big deal. I guess most people don't really care about that stuff, but Rock Paper Shotgun did write one for eStable. Yeah, I kind of thought it was Rock Paper Shotgun. And of course, they cover tons of stuff. So I don't know what their reach is, but I really thought some of that stuff would be a little bit more of a bump for the community, and I didn't really notice. No one ever says like, "Oh, I came because of the Rock Paper Shotgun." So you never know how people find it, but whatever. It's a great game. It'll get out there. People will figure it out. I picked up this game a couple years ago. Probably right around. It would have been C was the stable at the time, so it was at least a year and a half ago too. I mean, at this point, it probably was like 3 years ago. And I picked up the game, and because I saw it online, I love zombie games, and they were like, yeah, if you ever wanted a zombie game that lets you do pretty much everything that you've ever wanted to do, you should look at Cataclysm. So I checked it out, and I hated it because I downloaded the ASCII version. I didn't know there was a tile set, and I was like, this is neat, but I don't think I have time to learn a new roguelite. I don't think I have time to, figure all the controls and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't really have time for it. And so I just put it away for a while. We're going to get zapped by this guy. We don't have a non-metal weapon. Okay, Zapper, you're getting on my nerves now. That was way worse than it should have been. Had a real hard time with that Zapper zombie. I thought because our mace also had wood, and it explicitly says it's a wood handle, I thought we wouldn't get zapped. But it's possible he was just zapping us through our armor, not because we were hitting him. Let's look at our message log. You hit him, you're zapped. You're zapped, you're zapped, you're zapped. So we were getting zapped even without hitting him. We were in conductive armor. Pretty much as bad a situation as you could get fighting electricity and plate armor. So that sucked. We took some serious damage there. We kept missing him. I found it on the Apple App Store because I looked for zombie games a few years back. Played about 5 minutes, and now I play on it PC. Yeah, I think PC is for sure the way to go. I know a lot of people do play on Android and stuff. I see people post pictures on the Discord or on the forum or whatever, and you see it's the mobile version. I have not tried that. I don't have a good phone, so I think it would just be real slow for me. And I think having the control of the numpad and all that stuff is super valuable, so definitely would recommend the PC version. But a lot of people, they say they don't have good enough computer, but I don't see how that's any kind of barrier. I could see if you don't own a computer, like I get that. Some people just don't. But it'll run on most anything. It'll be slow sometimes, but it'll run on everything. I ran this on a really crappy like $100 laptop for a long time. Yeah, I wasn't gonna be into it. I thought like, oh, I don't have time for this. And then one day, like months later, I found another thing. I was looking for more zombie games, and again, Cataclysm came up, and I was like, all right, if we're gonna do this, let's give it a proper go. So I Googled it, and sure enough, found out about Vormithrax, and found out that it had a tile set, which was a huge selling point for me. I really can't stand ASCII anymore. I played it a lot when I was a kid, but now that I'm older, when I look at ASCII, it just makes my eyes hurt. Like I hate it. It's so weird because you read text every day, and it doesn't bother you at all. But as soon as it's not words, it just completely melts my brain. I can't stand it, and it really really bothers my eyes. It's the same reason I don't use Retro Days. Is something about retro days. Something about that tile set really bothers my eyes, and I just can't look at it for very long. So, but yeah, found Vorm's videos, of course, huge tutorial, expansive tutorial series. Watched a whole mess of his Let's Plays and was like, all right, this is the game, right? Like this is the game I've been waiting for. This is the one I've wanted. At the time, I was working on a zombie tabletop RPG. I was trying to build myself. I was unemployed for a little while, which lasted longer than I'd like to admit, and I had nothing to do all day, every day, and I just started building this zombie tabletop game because all the ones that are out there are really bad that I've played. And yeah, I started doing that, and then I found Cataclysm and was like, man, a lot of the stuff I was working on, this game already does, and it's so much better to play it with a visual thing in front of me, and I just got hooked. And then like a year later I was like, you know what, I kind of want to start a YouTube channel, but what do I do? And I was like, Cataclysm, like that's no brainer, that's the game, right? So yeah, ever since then been playing Cataclysm pretty much for like 3 years now. Came in somewhere during C, that lengthy period between 0.C and 0.D. Can run this game on Raspberry Pi. It can run on almost anything. Yeah, I've never played with Raspberry Pi. It's something I'm interested in. I wanted to build a bar top arcade cabinet for my niece, just a small thing, because I saw some kits online and things like that I thought would be a fun thing, and she could have a thing to play with. Oh, I just remembered some big news, so we'll talk about that in a second. And those are all run more or less on Raspberry Pi. Everyone recommends you use Raspberry Pi for those. But the kits, and even if you build it yourself, I mean, you're looking at a couple $100, and I don't know how to wire things, so like I decided not to do that. But so I have some good news actually that I completely forgot about. I'm gonna be an uncle again. My sister is pregnant, which is interesting because she's not the one I thought would get pregnant. But yeah, she's pregnant. She has a boyfriend. They've been together for a couple years. She's so okay. So if you don't know, I have 6 brothers and sisters, 4 from my mom, 2 from my dad, and then I'm the only one that was both of them. And it's my youngest sister. So my brother is 2 years younger than me. That's the one that lives with me. He's 30. Then my sister, my oldest sister, is 2 years younger than him, so she's 28. Next brother is 3 years younger, so he's 25, and then my sister's 2 years younger, so she's 23. So I believe my sister is 23 and is now pregnant. They don't know the gender yet. I think they just found out. She works. She used to be a hospital. What do you call? You call 911 and they answer. She was a 911 operator or technician or whatever they call that for a long time, and now she works in a group home for people with some mental limitations, where they take care of them and whatnot. Both of my sisters work in that particular business, and yeah, she's pregnant. Hooray! I guess is good news. I don't think they have great jobs or anything, but he seems like a really nice dude. There's more building back here we never looked at. I am going to go look. I would really like to crack these sealed cabinets, but I don't know what's in there. Because I don't know what's in there, but I don't have the means to do it. So let's go back here and look. This looks like it might be a patio or just another bedroom or something. But we'll go, and then I think we're going to move on. There's really not anything here that we got our armor, we got our weapon. I think we got a lot of value out of this place. So we'll be moving on. Still not a drop of antiseptic is pretty surprising. But that's pretty common, so we should be able to find that as we begin exploring houses and things.